Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And let's see what Cardano is doing. So Cardano, as you can see, it's going down and it's exactly at the trend line right here. I've had this trend line on the chart for a very long time now. So we'll see if we actually get some type of bounce or if we actually go lower. If we go lower and we get below this low of the fourth wave move down, that will invalidate the whole 1-2 setup here. And I mean, this is not a good 1-2 setup anyways, so if we do invalidate it, it's going to be okay. However, it's not really great because the 0.786 support level was already tested in the fourth wave right here, which means that if we actually get another low that would put us below that extension, now I don't have it on the chart anymore because I got rid of it, it's not important anymore, and if we actually get another low in the fourth wave move down, I think it's likely that we actually test the 50s again before we actually continue with a move to the upside, just because the price does not seem to want to hold. However, keep in mind we are almost overbought on the 4-hour RSI and we are actually at the trend line, which could lead me to believe that this could actually just be a fake out and maybe we're about to get a bounce extremely soon. We'll see if we actually manage to get back above the 200-day moving average or not. As you can see in the past, we did get below it a couple of times. Actually, in the past 2 months or so, we tested it like 6 times. We tested it here, and yeah, right now we got below it, and like I said, if we do not manage to get back above it, it's likely that Cardano tests these lows again. Now, I don't really want to see another low below this low right here, because if we do that, that will invalidate the whole 1-2 setup and the before setup as well, and we don't really want to see that. So a drop below 65 cents is not going to be bad, but if we drop below 57.8 cents as well, that could put us at the 0.618 support level again, and dropping to the 0.618 support level, it's not going to be the end of the world, and it's actually still a likely scenario because, I've been talking about this scenario for quite some time now, so it's still possible as long as we do not get back above the bull market support band and as long as we do not actually 4 and 5 waves up. I mean, this 1-2 setup on the chart, it's complete, yes, but we don't have a 3, 4, and 5, so until we get something like that, I cannot confirm anything. However, if we actually manage to get some kind of 5-wave move to the upside, I will be able to do that, but for now, yeah, it's not looking too great. However, you have to keep in mind, Cardano is actually one of the only altcoins to hold near the bull market support band. If you look at some other altcoins, for example, Near is not that far away from the bull market support band, so this is not a great example, but for example, ICP, as you can see, the price is at like $5, the bull market support band is at like 9, so it's very far away from it. And let me look at some other examples. For example, Solana, the price right now is $120, the bull market support band is at $200, so it's extremely far away from it. However, Cardano, on the other hand, it's actually extremely, close to it, and if we take a percentage from where we're at right now, to get back above the bull market support band, we would need a 33% drop. Actually, a 33% move to the upside, I'm sorry. And for Solana, for example, to get back above the bull market support band from where we're at right now, it would need a 65% move to the upside. So as you can see, Cardano is actually holding up quite well, and I don't know why the chart is not loading. What happened? Hello? Okay, I'm back. So listen, my internet just went down, which means that I don't have access to the chart, and instead of, looking at the chart, I actually want to show you something in Paint. Now, I know this is extremely unusual and you have probably not expected this to happen. However, I have something to show you and I still need to talk about something anyways. So right now, Cardano is in an uptrend, which looks like this. We have a low that did something like this, then we went up again, we went down below again, we tested the trend line, and right now we're about to test it for a third time. And if we actually break below the trend line right here, that could not be good because that would also mean that we would have to break below this low as well. Now, why am I talking about this in Paint? Well, because I don't have access to the chart. However, like I said, even if we get another low, it would be fine. You have to keep in mind, Cardano is still above like 50 cents right now. A couple of months ago, it was at like 30 cents, maybe not even 30 cents, maybe like 27 cents, and people were complaining back then as well. And look at what happened after that. We had a 300% move to the upside, and yeah, during that time, everybody was buying. So even though Cardano was going sideways for months before it actually had a move like this, during that time, nobody was buying down here. Everybody actually bought, let's say, somewhere here or somewhere here or or somewhere here. And what happened after that? Well, the price went down like I said it would. It went down, and what did people do? Well, the people who bought up here sold down here, the people who bought up here sold down here, and the people who bought here probably sold somewhere around here, or actually made some profits. Maybe they actually made some profits. So please do not fall for this trap. And also, I'm sorry for making this video in Paint, but you know, I mean, we don't have access to the charts. The internet is very bad, so we're gonna have to do with this. Now, also, you have to know that the Fear and Greed index is also very low. It's actually at about 20. Now, I don't have access to that either, so I'm just going to have to write a 20 here. And what this means is that, you know, when the Fear and Greed index is so low, that's the best time to buy. I mean, here, for example, when Cardano was going sideways in this region, and I mean, it was going sideways for like 6 months. Well, it was not really a sideways price action, it was more like a downtrend. However, in the last 2 months of the downtrend, we actually just went sideways, and during this time the Fear and Greed index was also extremely low. And I told you multiple times that if we actually got back above the bull market support band, which is this thing right here, we will most likely get a huge bounce. And also we had a cross on the bull market support band, which is this right here, and after the cross the price went up quite a lot, and right now we are below the bull market support band again, and we're still waiting for another cross. And once we get that cross, I think Cardano will do something like this again, and we will get to all-time highs by the end of May. I think it's very likely to get to all-time highs by the end of May if Bitcoin dominance actually starts dropping. Now let me get rid of some stuff from this because we don't need some of this. And let's go back to the Fear and Greed, which is at like 20. So let's actually circle this. This is the Fear and Greed, and 20 means we are in extreme fear. Now, if you go on the website for the Fear and Greed index, it will say that when it's at like extreme fear, that could be a good buying opportunity. Now, keep in mind, when Cardano went up like 300% after going sideways for months, that's when the Fear and Greed index went to, let's say, about, I think it was at like 90 or so, maybe like 85 or so. And that means that when the Fear and Greed index is at extreme fear, it usually means that it's a good selling opportunity, at least for the short term. I'm not saying that in the long term it will be the best selling opportunity, because, I mean, in my opinion, the best time to sell the altcoins is when Bitcoin dominance is at cycle lows, not when it's at cycle highs like it's right now. I mean, right now it's at like 60%, so I don't think it's the best time to sell. However, like I said, if you bought the altcoins during the bear market and you are already up like 5 to 10x, it could be a good opportunity at least to maybe take some profits and maybe make your money back that you invested. And yeah, we went to a Fear and Greed index of about 90, and I warned you about this. I warned you that when everybody gets too greedy, that's when it's time to get fearful, because usually after that we drop. And yes, we did drop after that, and right now it's low again like it was down here. However, the prices are way higher, which means that when it goes up again, and by the way it will go up again at some point, we will not stay in fear for months or years. That's definitely not possible. It has never happened before. So the market will recover, and once it recovers and once everything starts going up again, of course the Fear and Greed index will start rising again. However, the price will go above the previous highs as well, meaning that we will most likely get to all-time highs. Now let me talk about Bitcoin, and yes, my internet is still not back, which means that I'm going to have to use this chart. And Bitcoin is in a very interesting structure right now. Let me actually try to draw it. And basically what Bitcoin is doing, well, let's start from the bear market lows. These were the bear market lows right here. This was $16,000. After that, Bitcoin went up. It went up to about, let's see, about 45k or so, and then it dropped to 25k. I'm going to tell you why this is important very, very soon. After we went to 25k, we had another bounce, and Bitcoin went, you know, to higher highs, probably to like 70k or so, and then we dropped to about 50k again. And as you can see, from 25k, which was this low right here, the next low was 50k. Now, the next low, what do you think it was? Well, we went up again for some time. I think we went to about $110,000, so this happened recently. And after we did that, we had a correction, and Bitcoin went to about 76k. And you could say that it was just 75k. So do you notice something on this pattern? Here it was 25k, here it was 50k, and right now it was 75k. So could the next low be 100k? And if it is it going to happen anytime soon? Well, I mean, if you look at what happened on the RSI, and this right here is going to be the RSI, if you look at where the RSI went to when we got all of these lows right here, the RSI almost got to these levels right here. So basically, we got to these exact same RSI levels every single time, and if I can remember this correctly, the RSI on the weekly chart was almost like 45 every single time, and we always showed a reaction to it, which lead me to believe that the low could already be in at 76k, and if it is, the RSI could actually get a bounce right now, and maybe it's finally time to get to the overbought territory on the weekly RSI and on the monthly RSI, because that's what Bitcoin usually does in a post-halving year. So yeah, I hope you understood what I'm talking about. I mean, if you have been watching my videos every single day, you probably don't need the chart anymore, and you are probably only listening to the videos anyways. I mean, I know a lot of people are actually only listening and not watching the videos because it's easier to understand what's happening in the market that way. I mean, I know the charts can sometimes be a bit confusing, but I hope you can actually understand this. So every single low that we had, from this low to this high, well, actually from this low to this low, it was a difference of 25k. From this to this one, it was another 25k difference, and the RSI went to the exact same levels. Could that be a coincidence? Well, maybe, but maybe it's not. Now, going back to the Cardano chart, which by the way I still don't have, so we're gonna have to just draw it here. This right here will be the Cardano chart. Going back to the Cardano chart, it's still in an uptrend like it was in the previous cycle. So in the previous cycle, we had a 1-1-2-1-2 setup, and we actually stayed in the trend line for quite some time. I mean, I think this was actually a few months, and this uptrend actually lasted the exact same time as the uptrend that we are in this cycle, and in this cycle we are also in a 1-2-1-2 setup. We are still in an uptrend, so I think by the end of May, if Bitcoin dominance finally drops below like 60% again, and we actually get to like 40% like it usually goes to, you know, in a post-halving year. As you know, Bitcoin dominance always drops in a post-halving year, so I think it will drop. Now, if it does not drop by the end of May, it's gonna be bad for the altcoins, because I think Bitcoin will actually get a very big correction during the summer, and I think if Bitcoin actually gets another pump right now, which puts us at like, let's say about $150,000 by the end of May, and the altcoins do not go up, that will make, you know, Bitcoin dominance go up even further. And if we actually get a correction after this pump and Bitcoin hits like 100k again, and if the altcoins are not at all-time highs by the time we get this correction, this could be very, very bad, and that could actually put some altcoins at bear market lows. So what we need to hope for right now is that Bitcoin starts going up and that it gets back above the bull market support band and the 200-day moving average, and then we could talk about Cardano and what it could do in the next couple of months. Keep in mind, even if it does not get to all-time highs, that does not mean that it will not get to all-time highs. I think it's likely that we get to all-time highs on the Cardano chart and on the altcoin charts if we actually start the altcoin season, you know, anytime soon. And I think the altcoin season is inevitable to happen. I think it will happen this year, and maybe by the end of the first month of next year, like we did in 2018. And I think at some point Bitcoin dominance will drop. Some things cannot really go up forever. We have to go down at some point. So that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed. And like I said, Cardano, my target for it is $5 to $8 by the end of the cycle. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon. If you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.